Side of the war.
Hi, I'm Sasha Midre Mangari Rodriguez, and I'm going to be playing Ophelia.
That's fine, but you're a bit early, Sasha, so that's good.
What?
You're just a bit early, but that's good.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I'll let you know. That's all.
You're well rerehearsed.
That's great.
Oh, Jesus, that was so embarrassing. Okay, hi.
No, I will start. I'll start us. Thanks, bud. Hello, and welcome to wherever you are in the world to part 3 of our Hamlet reading that we started 2 weeks ago. Our first Hamlet was Alana Urick. Our second Hamlet was Joe Dinical. And tonight we're really excited to bring the show home with our third Hamlet, Meghan St. Thomas. So we are ready to go, and we hope that wherever you are in the world that you're going to enjoy this. Our cast covers everywhere from Miami west to Los Angeles. So we're an international, a really national company now. So we're very excited. My name is Richard Kenyon. I'm the artistic director of Soul and Bliss, which is our production for tonight. And I'll be reading the narrator and several other little parts. The running time of this show is probably about an hour and 15, an hour and 20. So I'll let the cast introduce themselves, and then we'll start.
Hi, I'm Sasha Mildred Mangari Rodriguez, and I'm going to be playing Ophelia.
Hi, I'm Maddie Lewis, and I am playing Osric, Fortinbras, and the Gravedigger.
Hi, I'm Burke Fair, and I'm playing a sailor and the second Gravedigger.
Hi, I'm Megan Mekjian, and I am playing Queen Gertrude.
Hi, I'm Luann Morrow. I'm playing Rosencrantz, a couple of messengers, and the ambassador from England.
Hi there, my name is Christian Brune, and I'll be playing Laertes.
Hi, I'm Glenn Thomas Cruz, and I'm playing Horatio.
Hi, I'm Paul Gore. I'm playing Dr. Divinity as Polonius is now dead.
Hello there. I'm Brandon Furlow. I'll be Claudius.
Hi, I'm Meghan St. Thomas, and I'm playing your Hamlet.
Excellent. So let's start. We last left our hero, Act 4, Scene 3. Polonius had just died, and the king and Hamlet are heavily imbrued in a nasty argument. So sit back and enjoy the third part of Hamlet.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are eaten at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggars, but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of a fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where's Polonius?
In heaven, send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But if indeed you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender, and we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready, and the wind at help, the associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England.
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it, if thou knewest our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father. Hamlet?
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother. Come for England.
Follow him at foot, tempt him with speed abroad. Delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything is sealed and done that else leans on the affair. Pray you make haste. And England, if my love thou hold'st at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy cicatrice looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free awe pays homage to us. Thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full, by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys will ne'er begin.
He exits. Scene 4. Enter Fortinbras with army over the stage.
Go, Captain, from me greet the Danish king, and tell him that by his license Fortinbras craves the convenience of a promised march over his kingdom. You know the rendezvous. If that his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye, and let him know so.
I will do it, my lord.
Go softly on.
They exit. Enter Hamlet, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir,
How purposed, sir, I pray you.
against some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or for some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats, 5, I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole a ranker rate should it be sold in fee.
Why then? The Polak never will defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth and peace. That inward breaks and shows no cause without why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir.
God be with you, sir.
Will it please you go, my lord?
I will be with you straight. Go a little before.
Exit everyone but Hamlet.
How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief and good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not the capability and godlike reason, but to fuss in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered half of 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward. I do not know why, yet I live to say things to do. Sith, I have cause and will and strength to do it. Pause, my thing shut down, I apologize.
No worries.
Can we take it back?
Sure, of course you can.
Do you guys mind starting from the...
Why you take it from how all occasions do inform. This is live theater on the technical world, folks.
Can I take the monologue again?
She can.
I'll be with you. Go a little before. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? a beast no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not the capability and godlike reason to fasten us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but one part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward. I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit and divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame see the inner death of 20,000 men that for fantasy of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot wherein the numbers cannot try cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or nothing worth.
Hamlet exits. Scene 5, enter Horatio and Queen Gertrude.
I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks of the world and hems and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straws, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshapen use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it and botch the words up to fit their own thoughts, which as her winks and nods and gestures yield them, indeed would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily.
'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures and ill-breeding minds. Let her come in. To my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss, so full of artless jealousy is guilt. It spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Enter Ophelia.
Where's the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff, and his sandal shawl.
Ah, alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Pray you, nay you, pray you, mark.
He is dead and gone, lady. He is dead and gone. At his head a grass green turf, at his heels a stone. Oh, oh, ho!
Nay, nay, but Ophelia.
Pray you, mark.
White his shroud as the mountain snow.
Enter the king.
Alas, look here, my lord.
Lord, it always sweet flower, which be wept to the ground, did not go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God killed you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but not know what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. All in the morning betime, and I, a maid at your window, to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and upped the chamber door. Let in the maid that out a maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Indeed, without an oath, I'll make an end on it. By this and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock, they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so should I adorn by yonder sun, if thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all is well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose but weep to think that they would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close, give her good watch, I pray you. This is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death, and now, behold, O Gertrude. Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not in single spies, but in battalions. First, her father slain, next, your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddied, thick, and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers for good Polonius' death. And we have done but greenly in hugger-mugger to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret, come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death, wherein necessity of matter beggared will nothing stick our person to arraign in ear. Oh, my dear Gertrude, this, like to a murdering piece in many places, gives me superfluous death.
Noise within.
Alack, what noise is this?
Attend. Where's my Switzers? Let them guard the door.
Enter a messenger.
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean, overpeering of his list, eats not the flats with more in piteous haste than young Laertes in a riotous head overbears your officers. The rabble call him lord, and as the world were now but to begin, antiquity forgot, custom not known, the ratifiers and props of every word, they cry, choose we Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king. Laertes shall be king.
A noise within.
How cheerfully on the false trail they cry. Oh, this is counter, you false Danish dogs.
The doors are broke.
Enter Laertes.
Where is this king? Sirs, stand you all without.
No, let's
Oh, let us come in.
I pray you, give me leave.
We will.
We will.
I thank you, keep the door. Oh, thou vile king, give me my father.
Good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlot even here between the chaste unbesmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. There's such divinity doth hedge a king that treason can but peep to what it would, acts little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead?
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell, allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand, that both the worlds I give to elite to negligence, let comes what may, only I'll be revenged. Most thoroughly, for my father.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world, and for my means I'll husband them so well they shall go far with little.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father is writ in your revenge that swoops stake, will you draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
To his good friends thus wide I'll ope my arms, and like the kind life-rendering pelican repast them with my blood.
Why now, you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it, it shall as level to your judgment appear as day does to your eye.
Let her come in.
How now? What noise is that?
Enter Ophelia.
Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears, 7 times salt, burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid with weight, till our scale turn the beam. O Rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. O heavens, is't possible a young maid's wits should be as mortal as an old man's life? Nature's fine in love, and where 'tis fine it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves.
They bore him barefaced on the bier. Hey, no, me no, me no, hey, no. And in his grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my love.
Hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
You must sing a down, and you call him a downer. Oh, how the wheel becomes it is a false steward that stole his master's daughter.
This nothing's more than matter.
There's rosemary for you. That's for remembrance. Pray you remember. And there's pansies. That's for thoughts.
A document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you. And columbines. And there's rue for you. And here's some for me. We may call it a herb of grace or Sundays. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. For Bonnie's sweet Robin is all my joy.
Thought and afflictions, passion, hell itself she turns to favor and to prettiness.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy death. He will never come again. His beard was as white as snow, of flaxen was his coat. He is gone, and we cast away moan. God have mercy on his soul. And all of the Christian soul, I pray God be with you.
He exits.
Do you see this, O God?
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. But go but apart. Make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me, if by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched. We will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lead your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment o'er his bones, no noble rite, nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard, as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
Exit. Scene 6. Enter Horatio.
What are they that would speak with me?
Seafaring men, sir. They say they have letters for you.
Let them come in. I do not know what part of the world I should be greeted, if not from Lord Hamlet.
God bless you, sir.
Let him bless thee too.
He shouts, sir. Ain't please him. There's a letter for you, sir. It came from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I am let to know it is.
He hands Horatio a letter. He reads the letter.
Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On this instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew not what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak, and thine ear will make thee dumb. Yet are they much too light for bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that knowest thine. Hamlet. Come, I will give you way for these letters, and do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
They exit. Scene 7. Enter the king and Laertes.
Now must your conscience my acquittance seal. You must put me in your heart for friend, sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
It well appears. But tell me why you proceeded not against these feats so criminal and so capital in nature, as by your safety, greatness, wisdom, all things else, you mainly were stirred up.
Oh, for 2 special reasons, which may to you perhaps seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they're strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks, and for myself, my virtue or my plague, be it either which, she is so conjunctive to my life and soul that as the star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive why to a public count, I might not go, is the great love the general gender bear him, who, dipping all his faults in their affection, work like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert his gyves to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, but not where I have aimed them.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook with danger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I loved your father, and we love ourselves, and that, I hope, will teach you to imagine.
Enter a messenger.
How now? What news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. These to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not. They were given me by Claudio. He received them of them that brought him.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us.
Messenger.
High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet. What should this mean? Are all the rest come back, or is it some abuse and no such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character, naked, and in a postscript here he says, alone. Can you advise me?
I am lost in it, my lord. But let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, and how should it be so, how otherwise? Will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord, so you will not o'errule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. If he be now returned, as checking at his voyage that he means no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing for a quality wherein they say you shine. Your sum of parts did not together pluck such envy from him as did that one, and that, in my regard, of the unworthiest siege.
What part is that, my lord?
A very ribbon in the cap of youth, yet needful, too, for youth no less becomes the light and careless livery that it wears than settled age, his sables and his weeds importing health and graveness. 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. I've seen him myself and served against the French, and they ken well on horseback, but this gallant had witchcraft in it. He grew unto his seat, and to such wondrous doing brought his horse as had he been encorpsed and demi-natured with the brave beast. So far he topped my thought, that I in forgery of shapes and tricks come short of what he did.
A Norman wast.
A Norman.
Upon my life, La Morde.
The very same.
I know him well. He is the brooch indeed and gem of all the nation.
He made confession of you and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especial, that he cried out 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. The scrimmers of their nation he swore had neither motion guard nor eye if you opposed them. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming over to play with you. Now, out of this.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you? Or are you like a painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Not that I think you did not love your father, but that I know love is begun by time, and that I see in passages of proof, time qualifies the spark and fire of it. There lives within the very flame of love a kind of wick or snuff that will abate it, and nothing is at like goodness still. For goodness, growing to a pleurisy, dies in his own too much. That we would do, we should do when we would, for this would changes and hath abatements and delays as many as there are tongues or hands or accidents. And then this should is like a spendthrift sigh that hurts by easing. But to the quick of the ulcer. Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself indeed your father's son, more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. But, good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returned shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence and set a double varnish on this fame. Frenchman gave you. Bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or with a little shuffling you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that, but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare, collected from all simples that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death, that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. Weigh what convenience both of time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore, this project should have a back or second that might hold if this did blast in proof. Soft. Let me see. We'll make a solemn wager on your cunnings. No, I have it. When in the motion, you are hot and dry and make your bouts more violent to that end. And that he calls for drink. I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. Let's say, what noise?
Enter the queen.
One woe doth tread upon another's heels. So fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There's a willow grows askant the brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she make of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old lauds as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. but long it could not be till that her garments heavy with their drink hold the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned.
Too much water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature, her custom holds, let shame say what it will. When these are gone, the woman will out. Adieu, my lord, I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.
Exit. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter the grave digger and his companion.
She need to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation.
I tell thee she is, therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her, and finds it Christian burial.
That be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense.
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be, so that offendendo, it cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act hath 3 branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argal, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good man Delver.
If they leave, here lies the water, good. Here stands the man, good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is, will he, nil he goes, mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal that is not guilty of his own death, is not his own life.
What is this law?
Aye, marry it is, Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this not be a gentlewoman, she would have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade, there is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers that holds up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
What, art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well, in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Do it again, come.
Who builds stronger, a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Marry, now I can tell.
Do it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Enter Hamlet and Horatio.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say, grave digger. The houses he makes last till doomsday. Go, get thee in and fetch me a stoup of liquor.
He exits. The grave digger digs and sings.
In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract all the time for, my behove. Methought there was nothing on me.
Has this fellow no feeling for his business? He sings in grave making.
Custom hath made him in it a property of easiness.
Even so, the hand of little employment hath a daintier sense.
But age with his stealing steps hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me into the land as if I had never been such.
He gigs up a skull.
That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. The knave jowls it to the ground as if 'twere Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. This might be the pate of a politician which this ass now o'erreaches, one that would circumvent God. Might it not?
It might, my lord.
Or of a courtier, which could say, "Good morrow, sweet lord. How dost thou, sweet lord?" This might be my lord such a one that praised my lord such a one's horse when he went to beg it. Might it not?
Aye, my lord.
Why, even so. And now my lady's worms chapless and knocked about the mazzard with a sexton's spade. Here's fine revolution, and we had the trick to see it. Did these bones cost no more the breeding but to play at loggarts with them? Mine ache to think on it.
A pickaxe and a spade for and a shrouding sheet. Oh, a bit of clay for to be made for such a nest as me.
He digs up more skulls.
There's another. Why may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddits now? His quilities, his cases, his tenures, and his tricks? Why does he suffer this mad knave now to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel, and will not tell him of his action of battery? This fellow might be in his time a great buyer of land, with his statues, his recognizance, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines and the recovery of his recoveries? To have his fine packed full of fine dirt. Will his vouchers vouch him no more of his purchases, and his double ones too, than the length and breadth of a pair of indentures? The very conveyance of his lands will scarcely lie in this box. Must the inheritor himself have no more?
Not a jot more. Not a jot more, my lord.
Is not parchment made of sheepskins?
Aye, my lord, and of calf skins too.
They are sheep and calves which seek out assurance in that. I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, Sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, a bit of clay for to be made for such a guest is meet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
You lie on it, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it, and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none either.
Who's it to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. By the Lord, Horatio, these 3 years I have took note of it. The age is grown so picked at the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier. He galls his kine. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year. I came to it the day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was that very day that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Aye, Mary, why has he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall cover his wits there. Or, if he do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
Will not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith, even when losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky courses nowadays that will scarce hold the laying in, he will last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than the other?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out water a great while, and your water is a sore to care of your whoresome dead body. Here's a skull now hath lying you in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A horse and mad fellow's it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This said skull, sir, was Sir Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
And that?
Taking the skull.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He had borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. Like George rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar. Not one now to mock your own grinning. Quite fallen. Now get you to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick to this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked of this fashion in the earth?
Ain't so.
It smelt so.
Puts the skull down.
Ain't so, my lord.
To what base uses we return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noblest dust of Alexander till he find it stopping in a bunghole?
'Twere to consider too curiously, to consider so.
No. No faith, not a jot. But to follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it, as thus. Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is earth. Of earth we make loam. And why of that loam whereto he is converted might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh. That the earth which kept that world in awe should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw.
Enter the king, queen, Laertes, and the corpse of Ophelia with a doctor of divinity.
But soft a while. Here comes the king, the queen, the courtiers. Who is this they follow? And with such maimed rites. This doth betoke the course they followed did with desperate hand forego its own life. 'Twas of some estate. Couch me while, mark.
Stand aside.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a noble youth, Mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command or swears the order, she should in ground unsanctified been lodged to the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is, allowed her virgin krantz for maiden struments and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace-parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet, farewell.
Gathered flowers.
I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while till I have caught her once more in mine arms.
To the grave.
Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, to o'ertop old Pelion or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wander-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well.
They grapple.
I prithee, take thy fingers from my throat. For though I am not splentative and rash, yet have I in me something dangerous, which let thy wisdom fear. Hold off thy hand.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet! Hamlet!
Gentlemen,
Good, my lord. Be quiet.
Hamlet and Laertes are separated.
Why? I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son! What theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
For the love of God, forbear him.
Swoons, show me, what wilt thou do? Woot weep? Woot fight? Woot fast? Woot tear thyself? Woot drink up easel, eat crocodile? I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine? To outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prat of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us till our ground, singeing in his pat against the burning zone, make Ossa like a wart. Nay, and thou wilt mouth. I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness. And thus a while the fit will work on him. Anon, as patient as the female dove when that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it's no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and the dog will have his day.
He exits.
Pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him. Laertes, strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet thereby shall we see. Till then in patience our proceeding be.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 2. Enter Hamlet and Horatio.
So much for this, sir. Now shall you see the other. You do remember all the circumstance.
Remember it, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Methought I lay worse than the minutes in the bilboes, rashly, and praise be rashness for it. Let us know our indiscretion sometimes serves us well when our deep plots do pall, and that should learn us there's divinity that shapes our ends. Rough, hew them how you will.
That is most certain.
Up from my cabin, My sea gown scarfed about me. In the dark, groped I to find out them. Had my desire fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to my own room again, making so bold, my fears forgetting my manners, to unfold their grand commission, where I found Horatio, a royal knavery, an exact command, larded with many several sorts of reasons, importing Denmark's health and England's too, with such bugs and goblins in my life that on this supervise, no leisure bated. No, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
It's possible?
Here's the commission. Read it at more leisure.
Hands him a paper.
But wilt thou hear now how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Being thus bended round with villainies, or I can make a prologue to my brains. They had begun the play. I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair. I once did hold it, as our status do, a baseness to write fair, and labored much, how to forget that learning. But sir, now it did me yeoman service. Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
Aye, good my lord.
An earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, as peace should still her wheat and garland wear, and stand a comma between their amenities, and many such like assess of great charge, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debate no further, more or less, he should those bearers put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed.
How was this sealed?
Why, even in that was heaven ordained. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of the Danish seal, folded the writ up in the form of the other, scribed it, gave it the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never known. Now, the next day was our sea fight, and that to this was sequent, thou knowest already.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own institution grow. 'Tis dangerous when the baser nature comes between the past and fell incensed points of mighty opposites.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not? Think thee. Stand me now upon. He that hath killed my king, whored my mother, popped in between the election of my hopes, thrown out his angle from my proper life, and with such cozenage, is it not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm? Is it not to be damned to let this canker of our nature come in further evil?
It must be shortly known to him from England what is the issue of the business there.
It will be short. The intern's mine, and a man's life no more than to save one. But I'm very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. For the image of my cause, I see portraiture of his. I'll court his favor. But sure, the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace. Who comes here?
Walter Osric, a courtier.
Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Dost thou know this waterfly?
No, my good lord.
The state is the more gracious, for 'tis a vice to know him.
He hath much land and fertile. Let a beast be lord of beasts, and his crib shall stand at the king's mess. 'Tis a chough, but, as I say, spacious in the possession of dirt.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to his right use. 'Tis for the head.
I thank your lordship. It is very hot.
No, believe me, 'tis very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
But yet methinks it is very sultry and hot for my complexion.
Certainly, my lord, it is very sultry, as 'twere I cannot tell how. My lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that he was laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter.
I beseech you, remember.
Motions to Osric to put on his hat.
Nay, good lord, for my ease in good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes, believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society and great showing. Indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he is the card or calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see.
Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you, though I know to divide him inventorily, would dozy the arithmetic of memory, and yet but yaw neither in respect of his quick sale, but in the variety of extolment. Take him to be a soul of great article, and his fusion of such dearth and rareness as to make true diction of him. His semblable is his mirror, and who else would trace him? His umbrage, nothing more.
Your lordship speaks most infallibly of him.
The concernacy, sir. Why do we wrap the gentleman in our more rarer breath?
Sir?
It's not possible to understand in another tongue. You will to it, sir, really.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
His purse is empty already. All's golden words are spent.
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant.
I would you did, sir. Yet in faith, if you did, it would not much approve me. Well, sir?
You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence. But to know a man well were to know himself.
I mean, sir, for his weapon, but in the imputation laid on him by them, in his meed he's unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons. But well,
he, sir, hath wagered with him 6 Barbary horses, against the which he has impawned, as I take it, 6 French rapiers and poniards, with their assigns as girdle hangers, and so 3 of the carriages in faith are very dear to fancy, very responsible to the hilts, most delicate carriages, and of very liberal conceit.
What call you the carriages?
I knew you must be edified by the margin ere you had done.
The carriages, sir, are the hangers.
The phrase would be more germane to the matter if we could carry a cannon by our sides. I would it might be hangers till then. But on 6 Barbary horses and 6 French swords, their signs, and 3 liberal conceited carriages. That's the French bet against the Danish. Why is this all impawned, as you call it?
The king, sir, hath laid, sir, that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. If it please his majesty, it is the breathing time of day for me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him, and I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame and the odds hits.
Shall I deliver you even so?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours.
Osric exits.
He does well to command it himself. There are no tongues else for his turn.
This lapwing runs away with the shell on his head.
He did comply, sir, with his dug before he sucked it. Thus has he and many more of the same breed that I know the dozy age dotes on, only got the tune of the time, and out of a habit of the encounter, a kind of yeasty collection, which carries them through and through the most feigned and winnowed opinions. And do but blow them to their trial, the bubbles are out.
My lord, his majesty commended him to you by young Osric, who brings back to him that you attend him in the hall. He sends to know if your pleasure holds to play with Laertes, or that you will take longer time.
I am constant to my purposes. They follow the king's pleasure. If his fitness speaks, mine is ready now, or whensoever, provided I be so able as now.
The king and queen and all are coming down.
In happy time.
The queen desires you to use some gentle entertainment to Laertes before you fall to play.
She well instructs me.
You will lose, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart. It is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery. It is such a kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy aguery. This is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man of aught he leaves knows, what is it to leave the times? Let be.
A table prepared. Enter. Trumpets, drums, and officers with cushions, the king, queen, Osric, and all the state, foils, daggers, flagons of wine, and Laertes.
Come, Hamlet, come and take this hand from me.
He puts Laertes' hand into Hamlet's.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong. But pardon it as you were a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with a sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature honor and exception roughly await, I here proclaim was madness. Was it Hamlet wronged Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be ta'en away, and when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? His madness. If it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that is wronged. His madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir,
in this audience. Let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot my arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in my terms of honor I stand aloof, and will no reconcilement till by some elder masters of known honor I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But till that time I do receive your offered love, like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace him freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play?
Mhm.
Give us the foils. Come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give him the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager?
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I've seen you both. But since he is better, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
Ah, this likes me well. These foils have all a length?
Aye, my good lord.
They prepare to fight.
Set me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup a union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups, and let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannons to the heavens, the heaven to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Trumpets.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
They fight.
1.
No.
Judgment.
A hit, a very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay, give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health.
Drinks and then drops the pearl in the cup. Drums, trumpets, and shot.
I'll
Give
play
him
this
the
bout
cup.
first. I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come.
They fight.
Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
He's fat and scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune. Hamlet.
He lifts the cup.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you, pardon me.
Drinks.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
And yet, it is almost against my conscience.
Come. For the third, Laertes. You do but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I am afeard you make a wanton out of me.
Say you so? Come on.
They fight.
Either way.
Have at you now.
Laertes wounds Hamlet, and then, in scuffling, they change rapiers, and Hamlet wounds Laertes.
Part them. They are incensed.
Hey, come again.
Queen falls.
Look to the queen, there, ho!
They bleed on both sides. How it's, my lord?
How is it, Laertes?
Why, as a woodcock to mine own springs, O Osric,
Falls.
I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
Oh, no! The drink! The drink! Oh, my dear Hamlet, the drink! I am poisoned!
Villainy! Oh! Let the door be locked! Treachery! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour's life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king is to blame.
The point in venom too. Venom to thy work.
Treason! Treason!
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I'm but hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane! Drink off this potion. Is thy union here?
Forcing him to drink the poison.
Follow thy mother.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. Follow thee. I'm dead, Horatio. Oh, wretched queen. Adieu. You that look pale and tremble at this chance, that are but mutes or audience to this act, had I but time, as this fell Sergeant Death is strict with his arrest. Oh, I could tell you. But let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause are right to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more antique Roman than a Dane. Here, is yet some liquor left.
Accept the cup.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go! By heaven, I'll have it. Oh, God, Horatio. Oh, what a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall I leave behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain, to tell my story.
A march far off and a shot within.
What warlike noise is this?
Enter Osric.
Young Fortinbras, with conquests come from Poland, to the ambassadors of England gives the warlike volley.
I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. I cannot live to hear the news from England. But I do prophesy the election lights on Fortinbras. He has my dying voice. So tell him the occurrence much or less, more and less, which have solicited. The rest, silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night. Good night, sweet princess. And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
March within.
Why does the drums come hither?
Enter Fortinbras with the English ambassadors with drum, colors, and attendants.
Where is this sight?
What is it you would see? If aught woe or wonder, cease your search.
This quarry cries on havoc. O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell, that thou so many princes at a shot so bloodily hast struck?
Sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Where should we have our thanks?
Not from his mouth. Had it the ability of life to thank you. He never gave commandment for their death. But since so jump upon this bloody question, you from the Polack Wars and you from England are here arrived, give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view, and let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. So shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, of deaths put on by cunning and forced you cause, and in this upshot, purposes mistook fallen on the inventors' heads. All this can I truly deliver.
Let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to the audience. For me, with sorrow I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me.
Of that I shall have also cause to speak, and from whose mouth, whose voice will draw on no more. But let this same be presently performed, even while men's minds are wild, lest more mischance on plots and errors happen.
Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royal, and for his passage, the soldier's music and the right of war speak loudly for him. Take up the bodies. Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go, bid the soldiers shoot.
They exit, marching after the which a peal of ordnance are shot off. The end. Great job, guys. Woo. Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you to our audience who watched us, and to those that have been supporting us all the way through the 3 parts of this magnificent play. And thank you, Meghan, for your work tonight. And thanks to Joe and to Alana. You guys did so great, and I'm so proud of you. This is, yeah, what a thrill. What we're going to do is, we won't do it tonight because I don't think we have Alana, and I want to make sure we have everybody, but we're going to have the 3 Hamlets and Luann and myself, and we'll have a little kind of Zoom meeting that we'll do live on YouTube, and we'll have people ask us questions, and we'll talk a little bit about the process of what it was like to be, you know, to be in this play and to work on this play and to do it in the Zoom, in the quarantine world. So we'll do that probably within the next 3 or 4 days, I hope, get everybody together and do that. And we have all sorts of things planned for next week. We're going to do another show. We'll release all that information. Well, I guess I can release it now. We're going to do some sonnets. So we'll do an hour show, just do some sonnets and a little bit of discussion with some actors, and that should be super fun. Then the following week, we're going to do Trailus and Cressida, which I'm really excited about. We'll do a 1-hour version. We'll go back to our 1-hour format. And then to end July, we're going to do As You Like It. And that will sort of end the month of July. But yeah, what a thrill. And thank you guys for all your hard work and sticking with us in this marathon, which is you know, such a fantastic play. I leave it to you guys. Do you want to? We can keep talking. We can whatever you want to do, or we could just go home or go to bed.
Yeah, we're already home, Richard.
That's right, yes.
We never leave home.
Yeah.
We don't, but soon, hopefully soon, very soon. But yeah,
Nice guitars.
why don't we say adieu, and then we'll set up a panel, and we'll do that in the next couple of days, and then we can really chat and get a good sort of exploration on the play and playing the part, and things we learned and things we'd like to do, and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you guys, and thank you to everyone. What a real thrill and a real pleasure to do this. So have a good night, and be safe and be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good
Good night.
Thank you.
Great job, guys. Good night.